And we are back here on Metal Nation Radio. I am Rustin Rose of Metalholic Magazine, and with us here tonight, the man behind the kit, Levi Dickerson of Anti-Mortem. You just heard 100% Pure American Rage off their upcoming debut album, New Southern. How you doing, brother?
Man, doing great, man. Doing great. How you been?
Absolutely awesome. You guys are out on the road right now with our bad boy brothers in Texas Hippie Coalition. How's the tour going so far?
Man, it's going great. We are rolling through Connecticut right now on our way to Poughkeepsie, New York, I think it's pronounced.
Poughkeepsie, absolutely. That's where my family is from, so you got it 100%
Yeah, it's cool,
right.
man. Getting to see everything out here is pretty awesome.
Now, this has got to be a little bit new for you guys because you guys are a pretty, relatively new band, at least to be out touring nationally. What's it been like to actually get out on a bigger tour on the road like this?
It's pretty awesome because it's extremely new to us as a band and as individuals because, I mean, us being from, like, Oklahoma, which is nothing, nowhere, flat, farmland, and then this is only our, technically our third tour, and we've been shot around the country so far, just getting to see everything and all this structure and so many buildings in New York. It's freaking insane, man. I mean, it's great. I love it.
Now, as I said, you guys are all pretty young, but your sound sounds like Pantera on a weekend bender with Molly Hatchet. Give us a little backstory. Give us a little backstory on the band and of course, how you eventually ended up with Nuclear Blast.
Man, as far as backstory, they've all been jamming. We've all been jamming and known each other for the longest time since we was all little kids and just been jamming together. And we grew up on the same music because, I mean, when you're growing up in Oklahoma and the places we grew up, it's very isolated. There's a very small town. So if you were a kid like us who got a musical instrument for Christmas or your birthday, whatever it was, that was the only thing you had to do besides go out and play in the dirt and throw rocks. So we all grew up, little bits of, we knew people who listened to different music, we got introduced to stuff like Pantera and, old school people like Molly Hatchet, Black Oak, Arkansas, stuff like that. We just thought it was the coolest thing, these guys with long hair and they're rocking out, they got all the chicks and all that same stuff, all that stuff that makes you want to get into it, man. It's pretty cool. And we ended up getting noticed by the right people at the right show, and then next thing we know, we're on Nuclear Blast and we're shot from corner to corner of the U.S., and it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I got my first listen to you guys, I'm like, it's too damn bad you guys aren't going to be joining THC on Mayhem Festival this summer. That would be a wicked thing to see.
Oh, man, yeah, that's awesome, and kudos to them for that, for landing that, 'cause that's awesome, man. They deserve that. They've been around. They've been going 10 years plus strong, man, so, I mean, it's cool for them. That's awesome. I'm so stoked.
Paying the dues. Who knows? Maybe it'll be you guys next year. So let's talk about the debut album. New Southern comes out on April 29th here in the States. It's coming out a little bit earlier overseas and digitally and whatnot, I believe. But what's the story behind the title, and what was it like getting into the studio to record the record?
The story behind the title is kind of, we just wanted to bring, it's kind of sort of self-explanatory. We just wanted to bring a new twist, like a new kind of fresh little spin on Southern lifestyle, because, I mean, we know it's not, 18 whatever where we got, brothers killing brothers, and all that stuff back then. But even though we're still in our time, we could still be Southern, but just in a new way. I mean, it's kind of sticking to your roots, even though your roots might be from a completely different era of time. We're just from the middle of nowhere where that type of time, that type of place still resides pretty good in the people and in the culture. So, I mean, we were raised in Southern Oklahoma, so, I mean, just kind of all about the South for us in a way. Wanted to bring a new spin to it, I guess.
Right, and then getting into the studio for the first time for your full debut, what was that like for you?
Oh, man, me personally, that was probably one of the coolest things I could have ever done in my life. Because, I mean, like I said, we're from nowhere, Oklahoma, where the best recording we had was, buddy's garage with some microphones hanging in a barn or, something like that. And then we get signed to Nuclear Blast, and the next thing you know, they're booting us out to California, which we'd never been to, and hit the ocean, and we're in Bob Marlette's house, which is this big fancy California house, and he's got this magic studio with all kinds of knobs and twisty buttons, and it lights up, and man, it was just a trip being out there, getting to do an actual album, all the albums I've been hearing and buying and, bands I'd idolized had been playing in this house with this producer, and here I am getting to do that same thing, man. So it was a blessing, and it was an eye-opening experience, and I will never forget it.
Well, and I was going to say, you got the opportunity, as you said, to work with Bob Marlette, who is something of a genius, and he's worked with some of the greatest bands. He's also a phenomenal songwriter. What did you guys take away from that experience in terms of your songwriting chops and how to put songs together? Because I'm assuming he had gave you a lot of help in how to structure songs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, he gave us. I mean, he gave us tools we need that we didn't know we had, that we didn't know we could do with. He showed us different ways, ways to structure songs that were fit for what we were trying to do as far as, like getting radio play and stuff like that. Because you can't just go tossing on, a song that you think is just the cool beans. You got to structure it for, the right type of people, and he just showed us all kind of great, tricks and tips. And me personally, being a drummer, he opened my eyes on so much, on how to actually write drum parts. Don't play what comes to mind and it sounds okay. Like, sit down and actually, write it out on paper type thing. Like, he showed me, all types of things. It was just crazy. I never knew I could learn so much so fast in the 6 days I was out there.
Well, that's the interesting thing. If you go back and you listen to the greats that I grew up on, the roots that I know you guys come from, whether it's all the way back to Skinner and ZZ Top and Molly Hatchet, or more current Pantera, Kill Devil Hill, whatever it is, those guys took the time to do stuff. They wrote out those nuanced pieces, and that's what sets those songs apart when they stand the test of time. You go back and you hear it. You wait for those specific drum fills or that little guitar nuance that,
Oh, yeah. Some of my favorite songs got the best drum fills to start off with, like Over the Mountain from Ozzy, it's just all kind of stuff. Like, he really got me to a point where I wanted to start actually, I'll try to come up with a good drum roll or a certain break, sit down and think of all the things you could put right in that same one spot, and then piece it from there.
Absolutely. So now, how does the songwriting process work in Anti-Mortem? Do you guys all write songs, or just one or two members, the primary guys?
Well, we all write. We all play multiple instruments, like me and Zane both have separate side projects where he plays drums in another band and I play drums for another band, and we do sometimes at shows, me and him will switch, and I'll go up there and do the guitar. We'll cover Paranoid or some random song, we all play all kinds of instruments. We all write lyrics, we all write riffs, and we'll record them on our phone. I'll send Zane like a MIDI file, or if you will, some real keyboard made type thing that makes keyboard guitar sounds. I have to. That's all I have. If I have a riff and I have a way to record it or write it down, I'm going to do it right then so I don't forget. And I'll send it to him. I'll send it to Nevada, Corey, Rado, all them, lyric ideas, guitar riffs, and we all just kind of work together from there. Like, they don't have a whole song done, or it'll be one little riff, and he can't figure out what goes after that. It's all we all put our own little part into it, since Zane plays drum too, there'll be a part where I can't really think of a good enough fill, or, this part here, and Zane's like, well, try this, so he'll sit down behind the kit and show me something that I should have been thinking of, but I couldn't because I, have a little writer's block or whatever. It's great being in a band like this where we're all musicians, where we all can play multiple instruments, we all can, write lyrics, all that stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet when you've got all those extra tools within the band. And you were just alluding to the lyrics. Obviously, the album hasn't even been sent out for review yet, so I haven't heard the whole thing. I've only heard what's sort of been out there so far. You guys have the two regular videos and lyric videos for 100% Pure American Rage, Stagnant Water, Words of Wisdom, and, of course, the acoustic clip of Hate Automatic. There seems to be a recurring theme of aggression, anger, and discontent. As Big Dad Rich would say, you guys sound a little pissed off and mad about it. What's going on there?
Yeah, that stems from, we're such young kids, so, we're at that point, we're just pissed off at the world and what we kind of realize what it really is out there. Just grow up as a kid, and it's like, lollipops and park. You grow up and it's like corrupt people and, tyrannical governments and stuff like that, and you're just kind of realizing whoa, what is going on? We are not cool with this, so what we're going to do is we're going to fight it. We're going to not necessarily fight it, but we're just not going to go along with it. We're not playing your game. We're just going to go over here and play our own game and let people know how our game is and how we play it. We don't play follow the leader. We play lead yourself to wherever you feel like it.
Sweet. We're going to play Stagnant Water right now. We're going to be right back here on Metal Nation Radio with Levi Dickerson of Anti-Mortem, and we're going to talk a little bit about those videos and some more before we let him get out of here. And we are back here on Metal Nation Radio. We've got Levi Dickerson still with us. Thanks for hanging around, brother. That was a great song,
No
Stagnant.
problem.
I'm so looking forward to hearing the whole album because what I've heard so far is fantastic. Now, as I mentioned before the jump, two of the videos you've released, 100% Pure American Rage and Stagnant Water. Those, I'm assuming, are really sort of your first full professional videos. What was it like doing those, and what's the story behind those tracks?
Oh man, Stagnant Water was doing videos to me is what I learned as I guess the term would be like a double-edged sword, man. It was awesome getting to do the first big full production video because everything else we did was like iPhones or someone, big shoulder camera you have to put up. But it was awesome getting to do a video, but it also sucked really bad because we did it during very chilly weather, and I didn't realize that it was, you had to play the song like 19 different times. We'd play it once or twice, and then they'd move the cameras over, adjust those, and we'd play it 3 or 4 more times. And by the end of the day, I hated that song. I couldn't stand hearing it because I played it like 30-something times. But it was awesome. I would do it any other day, as many times as I have to, but it's just one of those things. Like, I'd rather do like a live performance video if I have the choice. But doing videos are cool because, you get to have your creative input on it, We got to use our buddy to help make it, we try to keep, our friends and family involved with it if we can. We got our buddy Clark Field that we did all our videos with, American Rage, Truck Stop, and Stagnant Water. He's a very good friend of ours, so it's great because we get to take what we're doing and help other people, like help Clark's business with that and stuff like that. So it's great getting to do all this stuff, keep family and friends involved in it.
Well, it turned out really well, too. Now, on the album, aside from all the great stuff of your own, you guys chose as the bonus track, one of my favorite bands, an unlikely cover of Mr. Big tune. Why did you pick that particular song?
That's awesome. That's one of your favorites?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was a random kind of fluke thing because me and Zane Zane was sitting in his house pro-shooting all day like he does. And he's, he'll hit play on a playlist full of albums or whatever and just let it go as he works. And he came across that, I'm stepping on the name of the album. It's just called Mr. Big. It's their self-titled one.
I believe that's the one it came from.
Song, I think. Yeah, but he stumbled across that song, and then he heard the line where it says, "Got a little too loose in Oklahoma City." And when you listen to it, it's not a bad track. I mean, they're known for that one-hit song they had,
right,
or whatever, but nobody else, to our knowledge, knows about all their other badass music. I mean, you got Paul Gilbert and Billy Sheehan. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. But us being from Oklahoma, that song was like, man, we kept wondering what they might have did or who might have done what in Oklahoma City. I want to know what that meant. They got a little too loose. So the song kind of stuck with us, and we recorded the album. We tossed around the idea of covering a song, should it be on the first album, throw a cover. And we were kind of like yay and nay about it. So we're like, okay, well, let's record it, see how it turns out. And if it goes on the album, it's cool. If not, then, we'll throw it as like a bonus track thing. So we end up kind of doing all of the above. It's on the album, but it's like a bonus track type thing. And
right.
It was awesome because, it's a song that hits home for us. I mean, there's not very many songs out there that talk about Oklahoma except for the song Oklahoma.
I'm looking forward to hearing it because I haven't heard the whole album yet, as I said. And, yeah, Mr. Big, one of my favorite bands. Paul Gilbert, Billy Sheehan, Eric Martin, the voice. Oh, my God. Pat Torpey on drums.
Oh, man, yeah.
Phenomenal band. It's actually on their second album, Lean Into It. It took me a minute to think about that.
Yeah, Lean Into It. Yeah. Dang, I knew it. Something like that.
But, so I'm looking forward to all of that. Now, which tracks are you guys playing on this tour? And as a drummer, which one are you enjoying playing most each night?
Man, the ones we're playing on this, we're playing, we start off with Hate Automatic, Right of Your Life, Stagnant Water, Words of Wisdom, Truck Stop, and American Rage.
Nice. So
we got those, and then the ones I enjoy playing the most, I guess, would have to be, man, I'd have to say Words of Wisdom, because that song in particular was, because I'm fairly new in the band. I came along right before the whole, the deal and the going out to record the album and stuff. So that was the first song that we had that was kind of written before or written after I came along that I got to help write as far as like lyrically, as far as, no, not really lyrically, but the melody wise for the lyrics.
Right.
I got to have an input on that. It was one that me and Zane had started working on sort of. It's got this killer pause in it, it does, and we extend the pause. We extend the pause a little bit live, so it's kind of, and then the 808 comes in, and people just go freaking crazy. So that's probably one of my favorite ones to play live, aside from I Get Along with the Devil. Probably my favorite song.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about Levi Dickerson. Who were some of the people who influenced you, and then some of the drummers that inspired your playing?
Man, my main influence would have to be my dad, man. I mean, my old man grew up in a band. He was in bands all when I was a kid. He would take me to his band practice, and they would bring me to shows and stuff. And I just grew up around it, I mean, it was great getting to have, that type of parental influence on it. And then as far as, like, drummers and stuff my dad turned me on, I mean, everybody from, like, Ian Pace, Tommy Aldridge, Tommy Lee, Shannon Larkin. I like a lot of guys that have movement when they play, not guys that sit there and can play the song, but guys that can play the song and make it look like they're having a blast to play. Like the way Tommy Aldridge, just his presence when he plays and guys like that, like to make it exciting to watch, for people who can't drum or, don't want to take the time to learn, think they can't do it, can still enjoy it because, like, it's like that mofo back there is having a blast, and it's not, it's not meant for nothing. He's just killing it. I mean, to me, there's two parts to being a drummer. There's being able to play and then being able to perform, I guess.
Right. Because being on stage, it's as much showmanship as it is, skill and performance, especially in a rock or a metal band. And a lot of people don't even, Tommy Aldridge is so well known for, his Whitesnake and Ozzy years, but a lot of people forget he was in Black Oak, Arkansas, way back in the day. So now, give us, if you will, 3 albums that changed your life.
Oh man, that's easy. The album that changed my life the most had to be Ugly Kid Joe. It was America's Least Wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I remember stumbling upon it at a friend's house, and it had that cover artwork of him being the Statue of Liberty, giving a bird, and he's holding a nudie magazine, like a bottle of, 3X liquor or whatever type thing. And I sit there, and that was the first time I ever looked at a CD and just looked at it and was like, I have got to listen to this. I don't know what could be in here, but this little cartoon dude is flipping me off. I'm listening to it. Mainly because I was a kid and I knew I shouldn't have been. So I threw it in, and then it started with that song Neighbor, and I was hooked, man. With Shannon Larkin, that was his band at the time. He comes in with that little doom, and I was sold from there. So that was one. Iowa from Slipknot. Joey Jordison is a huge influence on me metal-wise, and probably one of the first drummers I ever, had a huge, idolizing of. And then, the third album, man, that's a toughie. Man, jeez, someone's going to be so mad at me for this. I'd have to say probably it's a Buddy Holly record my dad had.
Nice. The classics. That's where all the rhythm and melody comes from.
And I grew up on some of his older stuff, like his Richie Valens, Buddy Holly, Big Bopper, stuff like that. Jerry Lewis, he had a lot of that old stuff, so keep it old school.
Sweet. So before we get out of here, our pointless question of the week. You have all day to yourself to binge watch or play one TV show or video game. What would it be?
Man, I'd have to pick watching something because I don't play video games because I suck at them, so that made me mad and I don't play them. If I had to sit there and watch something, man, I have a fetish for Nightmare Before Christmas, so I usually watch that movie at least once a week, twice a week, religiously. So I'd have to sit there and watch anything Tim Burton. I'll watch it over and over all day.
And now that you guys have been out on the road for a little while, I know the tour's just starting, but are you already establishing who the band Felix and the band Oscar is? The Clean Freak and the Slob?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we're finding out a lot of interesting quirks about each other, I guess. Like who's the loudest snorer? I mean, it's a tie on a lot of things. Like we're all equally as dirty. We all leave stuff laying around. We all move other people's stuff to find our stuff and don't put it back. I mean, we're in a very small, confined space, but somehow we lose so much stuff in here. It's ridiculous.
Awesome. Levi Dickerson of Anti-Mortem. Can't wait for the new Southern album to come out April 29th on Nuclear Blast. You guys are currently out on the road with Texas Hippie Coalition. We can't wait to see it. Do you guys know what's happening after this tour?
Yeah, we got this. We're doing a 2-week run right now with THC. After that, we got a few the radio station kind of festival shows and interviews and acoustic performances. We come home for our album release show May 2nd. The album will be out, but it'll be like our official release,
Right.
welcome home show type thing. That'll be May 2nd. And then from then we're going to England in June for Download Festival, which is a huge thing for us. We're so grateful for that.
Absolutely.
And then that's about all I know so far.
Sweet. So on our way out of here, what's one of your all-time favorite hard rock or metal tracks? And we'll play it on the way out.
Ooh, hard rock metal tracks, man. That Neighbor from Ugly Kid Joe.
Perfect. We were just talking about it. Levi, thanks so much. We're going to play a little Ugly Kid Joe now, and we will see you out on the road.
All right, man. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.